Hey, what's up YouTube? Today we're going to be going over this kind of budget Krennic deck, and it's kind of funny because even though I'm kind of playing a budget deck for Krennic, I did pull a showcase Krennic which is worth more than the whole deck combined, and I'll put a link to those two videos where I pulled two Director Krennic showcases. Insane. But anyway, yeah, so I'll be playing Krennic, and it's pretty funny. I've been running this deck in locals. I think this is the best deck right now, in my opinion. For me, it might change in your local, but for me, in my locals, a lot of locals in California, in Central California and NorCal, they do best of one for their tournaments, and this deck has a very good matchup against the whole field. So usually if you play Iden Control, you're weak against Sabine Aggro. If you're playing Aggro, you're weak against Boba mid-range. Mid-range gets wrecked by Control. Usually that triangle for in the meta. Same goes for Magic the Gathering, which I used to be a big player of, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, this is a control deck. It is Krennic, but it kind of is built as a have a good matchup against aggro, which is usually the weakness for control. And I'll go over the deck and why I think it is a good matchup against the field. Like I said, a lot of the events in California are doing best of one, mostly because they're running it kind of in conjunction to their Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh events, so they just want something quick and done. And two, they don't really have an official judge yet. A lot of stores, they're just store workers who Googled how to play and are just running the events and collecting admission fees. And then three, a lot of players don't even have the cards for their deck, so they just want to have like a quick event, have players come in, pay the fee, get the event over with. And it's pretty funny. We finished a 4-event tournament for Star Wars Unlimited before round 3 for Magic the Gathering finished, and that happens at a lot of the stores in California. Like before, I wouldn't say before round 3, but I would say like when round 3 goes to turns for Magic the Gathering events, we're pretty much finishing up in our Star Wars Unlimited event. But yeah, so this deck, like I'm saying, thrives in a best of one format, which is what's happening right now because the game just launched, and that is for my state of California. Your area might be different. Another thing is a lot of players do not have a full collection of cards. I was blessed with being able to pick up a case and another box from my local game store. I sold a lot of the staples to my locals because I thought I would play Sabine, but since I pulled 2 Director Krennics, I was like, dude, I should probably play this deck. So I have 2 decks. I'll be playing Sabine and Krennic. But yeah, a lot of players don't have the cards or staples. 2, they can't even buy booster boxes because there's none on the market unless you want to pay $150. Don't do that. Wait for the restock. It's coming. They officially said it. But yeah, they can't even buy the product. So like people need 3 Vaders. This deck runs 3 Vaders, and Vader's a good card, but I think with me cutting it kind of gave me a better matchup against aggro, and I'll go over that too. So yeah, so recap on why this deck is good right now. Best of one, I don't know why I'm using my thumb. Best of one format for events for now. 2, players don't have access to a lot of cards unless they want to be dropping a lot of money, which most people in America do not have the access to drop a lot of money. Like, people don't have access to drop $240 on Vaders after taxes and shipping. You know what I mean? So yeah, so let's go over this deck real quick and why I chose the cards. I'm running 50 cards. Some people run 51, 52. I think that's weird, so I'm just running 50. So we'll start with the low-cost cards here. We have 3 copies here of Scout Bike Pursuer. Let me see if it focuses here on the camera. There we go. I like this card. This is a very good card against aggro and mid-range. So against aggro, it's a 2-drop. You'll play it turn 1. It's a 1/4. You could poke any of their 1 life units, but also if you're playing against mid-range, This card has grit. This unit gets +1 for each damage on it. So at best, this can become a 4/4. But you also have your leader, Director Krennic. If you control 5 or more resources to deploy this unit, of course, kind of slow compared to Sabine, but his main ability is passive. Each friendly damage unit gets +1/+0. So if he has 3 damage on him, he's power 4. With Krennic's ability, he's now power 5. A 5/1 pretty much at that point for 2 resources. That's so good. It lets you early game take out something weak. Late game, you could take out Sabine. You could take out a weakened Boba, you know? So this is a really good card. We'll put that there. We're running 3 of those. And then the second one up is Viper Probe Droid. We're running 3 of these. Another good another good turn 1 drop. It's a power of 3, so you could take out most of Sabine's drops. Almost all of their drops except for their late game, like K2SO and all that. But anyway, it's a 3/2, and when played, you just look at your opponent's hand. So this is really good because this combos really well with our next card, Regional Governor. We're running 3 Regional Governors. She's not that good stats, 1/4, but 1/4 that doesn't grow except with Krennic, so 2/4 if it's damage, but you could still kill like units with 1 life. But the main thing is you want to play Viper Probe Droid to look at your opponent's hand, and if, like, let's say they have a mid-range drop coming out next turn or in 2 turns, you then play Regional Governor to name that card, and when this card's on the field, they can't play it. So you drop this to control what your opponent can play. Very good combo, and it's got a big butt, so it could stick around and live and kill some weak stuff. And then over here, let's put the foil guy in front. I love this combo. So this card is Death Trooper. When played, deal 2 damage to a friendly ground unit and 2 damage to an enemy ground unit. So you would feel like this is a non-bow. Like you're like, ugh, I have to deal 2 damage to one of my own units to kill another unit or deal 2 damage. But it combos with this Scout Bike Trooper or Scout Bike Pursuer. You deal 2 damage to your Scout Bike to power him up to a 3/4 or a 4/4 with Krennic's ability. And then Death Trooper will shoot something for 2 damage. Pretty good. And we'll shoot ahead to the next card. Real quick, we're running 3 of Super Laser Technicians, cost 3 resources. This card says, when defeated, you may put this unit into play as a resource and ready it. So you can use it right away. But this is another good combo. Let's say you play this, and then next turn you play Death Trooper. First of all, if you play this card on turn 2, your opponent most likely is not going to attack it. Like, they don't want to kill it and give you a free resource. But on your next turn, you play Death Trooper to kill him, because you shoot Super Laser Technician for 2, and then you could shoot your opponent for 2, and then you open yourself up to have another resource. So that's a really good combo there. And then Resupply, we have 3 of these, pretty much the same thing. You play this event and it enters play as a resource. I like this because sometimes if you don't have a way to kill Super Laser Technician, you're not going to get that resource. Resupply just immediately puts that resource into play. So there's times where you want Super Laser Technician and times where you want Resupply, because you want that resource in play now. All right, so here's one thing I changed. I upped the copies of Cell Block Guard to 3. This card's costs 3 resources. It's a 3/3, and it has Sentinel. So if you're playing against, let's say, Sabine Yellow, this is going to stop a lot of their cards. You play Sentinel, it's pretty much Taunt from Hearthstone, or is there a similar card like this on Magic the Gathering? I can't think right now, but pretty much it's like Taunt from Hearthstone. Your opponent can't attack your hero unless they kill this unit. So Sentinel is like Taunt. It's forcing other units to attack it unless they have Saboteur, which my deck, I built Sabine Green, and the whole deck is pretty much built around Saboteur to get around this card. And that's one of this deck's biggest weaknesses is Sabine Yellow Saboteur. Is it Saboteur? I think I'm saying it wrong. Anyway, after that, we have a 3-drop in the air. We have Consortium Star Viper. You're usually almost always going to have priority. So this card says for 3 resources, it's a 3/3 in the air. While you have initiative, priority, whatever, this unit gains Restore 2. So after you complete an attack, it'll heal 2. So healing 2, always good. This is a good sideboard card usually for aggro, but because we're playing best of 1, I just main deck it because I'm pretty sure 50% of my local field is Sabine Aggro. So yeah, Restore 2, always helpful. And you have built-in Restore 2, don't forget, on your Krennic when you deploy him. So that's another healing that helps. After that, we have 3 copies of Power of the Dark Side. You just play it, your opponent chooses a unit and they control, and they defeat that unit or sacrifice it. It's like Devour from Magic the Gathering. Your opponent chooses a unit and they kill it. Usually it's bad if your opponent can choose it, but if you're playing your game right, you're taking out aggro's units on your turn, and then you play this to kill their other unit. So it doesn't matter if they choose their weakest unit because you want to get rid of aggro's cards. If you're playing mid-range, they already don't play a lot of cards, so this might just hit their only powerhouse on the field. So this is pretty good. 3 resources to play that. And then for our next removal card, we have Takedown for 4 resources. This straight up just defeats a unit with 5 or less remaining HP. I'm playing 3 of these. I'm just literally maxing out all my removal because we are not running 3 Vaders. We don't even have a Super Laser Blast, which might even be better, I guess. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Do you have to have at least 2 Super Laser Blasts? That hasn't come up for me, except against my game against Gianna, which is also on the channel where I got wrecked. But anyway, we're running 3 takedowns. Defeat a unit with 5 or less remaining HP. You could use this to target your opponent's leader. A lot of people don't know that. They just think you can't. But it says defeat a unit with 5 or less HP. So if that unit gets brought to 5 or less remaining HP, you can kill it. It does not say it cannot be a leader. So very good card to kill anything. Now this card is what people get mixed up with. It's for 5 resources, Vanquish. Defeat a non-leader unit. So make sure your opponents don't get mad for no reason because they're mixing these 2 cards up. This card is the one that says it has to be a non-leader unit and you just choose it. Okay, besides that, we have Gideon Hask. So this is going to be one of our first rares. I think this card is a must-have. So it's still budget. This card you could buy for $1. Like go in TCG Player and just order 3 copies. That's the price of less than a pack. Yeah, like this card I think you have to have. So we're playing Energy Conversion Lab, which lets you play a card once a game with Ambush. So you play Gideon Hask on turn 4 if you have it, or whenever else, and you give him Ambush. He's a 5/5. It's pretty big butt and power. And every time he defeats, or sorry, not even him, when an enemy unit is defeated, give an experience token to a friendly unit. It doesn't say other, it says a friendly unit. It doesn't say ground, any unit on the field. So you play Gideon Hask, you pop him with Ambush, he comes in and he kills one of your opponent's aggro or crappy units or whatever. You immediately will pop an experience token. So very good card, buy 3 of those. You must have that card. Probably one of the few cards over $1. And then we have 3 copies of Steadfast Battalion, must have 2, it's a common. You shouldn't have, most of these cards are commons. You shouldn't have trouble finding these. And I lied actually, there is another rare, it's Regional Governor, it's also under $1. You need 3 of those. But anyway, Steadfast Battalion, common card. On attack, if you control a leader unit, you probably will, give a friendly unit +2/+2 this phase, and it has Overwhelm, which is pretty much trample. So just another good 5/5. If you don't have Gideon Hask, you have a chance to pull this. So you have 6 copies of a 5/5 card to pop with Ambush and take out one of your opponent's cards. Yep. And if you have Krennic on the field, you're going to be giving her 2/2. So this could be a 7/7. So pretty good. And then next up, we have one of our board clears, one of the best board clears in the game. Overwhelming Barrage for 5 resources. So give a friendly unit +2/+2 for this phase. A phase is a turn. So even after you play this card, that card is still going to be +2/+2. So if you played this on Steadfast Battalion, she is now a 9/9. And then you deal damage equal to its power divided as you choose among any number of other units. Insane. It's just like, if you make Steadfast Battalion a 9/9, that's 9 damage you're dealing out. That can wipe out Sabine's board, kill a Boba Fett. The possibilities are endless. It's just a really good card. It's pretty much fight. Yeah, from Magic the Gathering, but with a pump. All right, so this is something different. A lot of people run 1 or no copies of this. I'm running 3. I'm running 3. It's a 6 resource card, Cargo Juggernaut. It's a whatever card. Like the art's whatevs. The name is like whatever. I don't even remember seeing this in anything, in like comics or any of the movies. But it has 4/6, so 6 is a big butt. But even though it does cost 6 resources, well, here's the big thing. It's shielded, so it has a shield. And when played, if you control another black unit, heal 4 damage to your base. So just playing this card, you immediately heal 4. It has shield on it. And the downside is if you're playing against Sabine Yellow with Saboteur, that Saboteur will just destroy the shield token and get through it anyway. But even if you lose your shield, the effect of heal 4 just happens. And it's a 4/6, so it has a big butt, pretty good power. You can kill most units in the game. So I like that card. All right, so because we're not running 3 Vaders or Avenger or anything, I do have 3 Reinforcement Walkers. So this is going to be your bomb. It's an 8 resource drop, 6/9 giggity for 9 toughness. And when played and when you attack, look at the top 3 cards, draw it, discard, or heal 3 damage. That's pretty good. So you could get a free draw on when you play it and attack, and it heals 3 if you just want to discard it instead. So if you draw a really crappy card, like let's say late game you draw a Viper Probe Droid, you just discard it and heal 3 damage. Pretty good card. It's a nice bomb with a good effect on play and attack. So we're playing that instead of Vader full playset there. And then over here I have 2 Devastators. So these are 2 legendary cards. It's a 10 drop. It's a bomb. Like you have to have some kind of bomb in this deck. I'm playing 2. I probably should play 3 since I'm not playing Vader. Has Sentinel. So late game, it just makes sure you stop any kind of aggro or prevent your opponent's bomb from attacking your base for a bunch of damage. Overwhelm, so it has that trample from this game. And then when played, deal damage to a unit equal to the number of resources. If you have 10 resources, that's 10 damage. So same thing as Overwhelming Barrages. Deal a bunch of damage, but it's to 1 unit. This is my bomb. It's not that expensive. I would trade for it if you can. People probably have extra copies of this, but you don't have to play this card if you don't want to. If you want, you could play 2 Rooks instead. A lot of players play this actually main board, and it's a 5 drop, so it would come out even faster than this card. So this card has shielded, and when this unit deals combat damage to a non-leader unit while attacking, defeat that unit. It has Death Touch. So 3/6 with Death Touch. Not bad. You'll get 2 or 3 attacks out of this. You play Rook, give it ambush, and you poke him really quick. He has shielded, so the first time you poke something, it won't even deal damage on him. This is a pretty good card. I should probably mainboard this, but if you want to make this deck without dropping a lot of money, Devastator's not even that expensive, but I digress. You don't have to play this card. You could replace it with 2 Rooks. Okay, so that is the deck here. Like I said, I've been doing pretty good with it, except against Sabine, Yellow, Saboteur. So that's only because Saboteur gets around all your Sentinels, gets rid of shields, which this deck has a lot of shields and Sentinels. So Yeah, I think it has a pretty good matchup. I kind of have a hand up on it, I guess, because I kind of made a lot of the decks for locals here in California. They're playing Sabine Yellow Cunning, and that deck has a bad matchup against me because they have no way to get around Sentinel. And I've been referring that deck from Rebel Resource, which I'll link in the description below, because he has been doing a lot of deck techs, and he made a really good Sabine Cunning deck, but in my opinion, it has a really bad matchup against this deck, and I've been recommending that deck to a lot of new players or players hopping in from Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm like, oh, if you just want to try this game out, maybe check out this video and make this deck. It's pretty cheap, and it's a pretty good deck. And then I just stomp that deck at events. So anyway, so yeah, pretty good deck. It's fun. If you don't want to play something like aggro and have more lines of play, this is a very fun deck to play, and that's why I'm playing it. I kind of got bored of playing Sabine and just attacking face repeatedly, unless I played the mirror match and they attacked my face. So this is a little bit more fun, more lines of play. But yeah, hopefully this helped you guys out with this kind of budget Krennic deck, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.